Hello, everyone. Here's a quick look at the top trending international news stories making headlines today. If you post an interesting comment during this update, we may add it at the bottom of the screen. Disturbing satellite images reveal rows of mass graves just outside the city of Mariupol, Ukraine. Russian soldiers are accused of dumping the bodies of countless women, children, and men in ditches to cover their crimes. The Russians are denying targeting any civilians. 120,000 people are still in Mariupol, and many fear the graves could be just the beginning of much worse, especially considering the mass graves discovered in Bucha. The mayor of Mariupol says 20,000 people have died after weeks of Russian attacks. Juan Orlando Hernandez, former president of Honduras, was extradited to the U.S. on Thursday on charges tied to drug trafficking, weapons, and conspiracy. He was president of Honduras from 2014 until January of 2022. U.S. Justice Department officials say starting in 2014, Hernandez partnered with trafficking groups and received millions of dollars, using the money to enrich himself and stay in power. In exchange, he helped protect the groups from investigation and extradition and let them get away with acts of violence. U.S. drug enforcement agents say his arrest is a warning to any leaders who support drug trafficking. This next video you're about to see is incredible. It shows the shocking moment a woman fell under a train in Argentina. But miraculously, she was not seriously hurt. Take a look. That is amazing. She fell under the train. The woman was rescued by train station security and some doctors. The woman was transferred to a hospital with various injuries and loss of consciousness. Russian tennis players have been able to play in tournaments this year under a neutral flag since the war in Ukraine started. But officials with Wimbledon are taking it a step further. They will not allow any players from Russia and Belarus at this year's tournament. 3 of the women's top 20 players and 2 of the men's top 10 players are affected by the decision, including the world's number 2 player, Daniil Medvedev. As things stand, they're able to take part at the second major of the year, the French Open, which starts on May 22nd. Wimbledon kicks off on June 27th. Tournament officials say if circumstances in the Ukraine war change between now and June, they will consider reversing their decision. A new climate report shows Europe's most recent summer was the hottest on record. One of the scientists who led the report says these numbers are not surprising. Not only did Europe smash heat records, it broke all rain and fire records too. Sicily broke the heat record at nearly 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And more than 1.9 million acres of land were burned by destructive wildfires in Turkey and Greece. Carnival is back in Rio de Janeiro for the first time since the coronavirus pandemic started. The huge celebration was supposed to take place earlier this year in February, but when the Omicron variant spread throughout Brazil, it was postponed for 2 months. When COVID cases started to decrease, organizers rescheduled Carnival to April. Street parties are not authorized, but the mayor said he will not send in the police if large crowds show up to celebrate. And finally, Queen Elizabeth II received a Barbie doll that looks just like her for her 96th birthday this week. The doll is wearing an ivory gown and blue ribbon that features her decorations of order. The tiara on the doll is based on the one the real queen wore on the day she married Prince Philip. The queen's doll went on sale in stores on Thursday and will cost $75. Sign1News will be broadcasting international news updates every Sunday. A big thank you to our Sign1News app supporters. You help make this broadcast happen. You can download the Sign1News app by heading to the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone, and you can also watch on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku. Bye-bye.